What was it like to enter special operations? Obviously, it's pretty rigorous to get into that program. So take us through that a little bit.
What was wild, this is the beginning of the war. We had a very long, Panama and Grenada and small conflicts, Desert Storm 1, which there were, so in the military, in your uniform, you have your unit patch and then you have your combat patch. The combat patch is the patch that you get when you deploy with that unit to combat. You could go to every one of the military bases that had combat arms there, and you would very, very, very rarely see any combat patches on anyone's sleeves. We just hadn't been to war. And the very small group that had were in U.S. Army Special Forces. Those men that had come back, the horse soldiers, there's a monument to them in New York, that riding to Afghanistan on horseback into battle, freaking epic, right? That's Green Berets right there. And those were the men that were now training this little small group of men aspiring to go to war, wanting to go make a difference. And they had just come back to seeing the most cruel form of war that we had seen in a really, really long time. And it was brutal. You cannot prepare people to go do the worst thing that our species can do to each other without it being very extreme. Definitely not palatable to most people about what training should look like. People died in training. People drowned and froze to death, and they got run over by vehicles. And there's no other way that you can prepare people for war without doing hard things. So, Special Forces has, once you get selected, you'll have, so in my class, we had 400 or 500 guys that went to selection, that went to Special Operations Preparation course, and then ultimately went to Special Forces selection. And there was 91 that made it to the end, and 88 of them got selected. And then that 88 are allowed to go into the Q course, which is a 1 to 2 year long qualifying course to train that soldier in what the skills that they need to have to be a Green Beret. And, from small unit tactics to guerrilla warfare, unconventional warfare, learning the language, your target language for your area of operation that you're going to go work in, SEER school, being interrogated, going into concentration camp and, getting the crap beat out of you. These, in the very end, that group of 88 people that were selected, I'm going to guess maybe 60 made it through, so 60 out of 500. And it's the greatest job in the world. It's the greatest job to go into a place and to give them the thing that Americans value more than anything else, which is sovereignty and freedom, to be able to go into a poor area and help them dig a well, to go into a broken area that has been scared to death, by a VEO cell in North Africa, and you come, and for the first time in their life, they get to have a peaceful night's sleep because you're on the ground there with them. America is such a special place. We really take it for granted how wonderful this country is. My colleagues have time and time again had to go to places where it was the worst on the spectrum of humanity. America's way over here, and then there's other cultures that are way over here. So then you get to come back and truly appreciate, your wife never looks more beautiful than when you first come back. Your kids can't be more sweet than the first time that you come back. And it is the most magical thing to come back to this amazing place that we go and fight for.
Holiday prepping, giant pain in the butt. It feels like there's not enough time in the day. Some people are just very, very difficult to shop for. Well, Black Rifle Coffee has a solution for you. Their December coffee of the month is a Costa Rican Arabica coffee that delivers tasting notes of chocolate, citrus, and maple. Delicious. Black Rifle Coffee is a veteran-founded coffee company operated by principled men and women who honor those who protect, defend, and support our country. With every purchase you make, they give back. Stop running out of coffee. Sign up for a coffee club subscription. They have Black Rifle Coffee delivered straight to your door on a schedule. Coffee Club subscribers receive their high-quality coffee at lower prices with free shipping. Plus, they get early access to exclusive deals and prices. Save money, drink America's coffee. Go to blackriflecoffee.com. Use promo code Shapiro at checkout for 10% off your one-time purchase or first Coffee Club order. That's blackriflecoffee.com. Promo code Shapiro. Get 10% off. You can also find Black Rifle Coffee in grocery and convenience stores near you. Black Rifle Coffee is America's coffee. Go check them out right now. It's basically the only thing keeping our offices running. We got back very, very late last night from a holiday party in Nashville. A lot of Black Rifle Coffee went into the veins of all of our employees over here. Black Rifle Coffee, go check them out right now. So how do you deal in the moment with the stresses that you're dealing with on the ground? How do you deal with coming face to face with evil? Not only the evil of the person you're fighting, but the evil of war itself. How do you deal with that in the moment? And then how do you deal with that later? Because most of us, I mean, obviously, haven't served in the military, never have to come face to face with that sort of stuff, and never have to deal with the readjustments or the adjustments in the moment.
Yeah, I think preparation, no surprise here coming out of my mouth, that's hard work and discipline are the two things that, ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. I would rather do all of the things to make sure that I'm a healthy, spiritually well, intellectually capable, morally strong, ethically founded human, so that when I have to go and do my job, I'm making the most rational and just decisions I can in the time. And they're terrible decisions. Nobody should have to decide if I'm going to engage a machine gun when I know, and I know this firsthand. As I walked up to a door and the door starts getting shredded with machine gun fire, my friend Mike Goebel shoves me back and saves my life. As we kick open the door, we see a PKM machine gun sticking out of a window. I throw a grenade through the window, right? That's what you're supposed to do. There's a machine gun that just tried to kill me and Mike. And this is who we're fighting. Surrounding that machine gun were a bunch of women and children. That's how they fight. Like, did I make absolutely the right decision in everything leading up to that, as best that I could with the information that I had? Could I go and pull that grenade back that I just threw the moment that I hear it go off, and the only thing that I hear is the crying and the anguish of babies and women? Of course, but I can't. Like, that's war, and that's the people that we're fighting in cultures that are not the same. Like, would I ever take my own family and barricade them around me with a machine gun as people started assaulting? Of course not. Right? But that's who we're fighting. And so the preparation and hard work and discipline is what enables you to be able to perform in war. And similarly, after, how do you deal with the things that happen in war? I think in a really similar way. Like me now, I'm still in. Obviously, I've been to Iraq, Afghanistan, during the evacuation of Afghanistan, into eastern Ukraine. I've worked on the Mexican border for months and months on end. Also, one of the worst things I've ever seen. Man, I love my kids. I go to church. I get an ice bath. I exercise. Right now, unfortunately, I'm in the middle of a 3-day water-only fast to try and get a bunch of gross stuff out of my body to make sure I'm healthy so I can live long and be there for my grandkids. All of these things, like I'm being a faithful husband. This liquor cabinet behind me, this is for guests. I've never touched a single drop of any of the things that are in there, but people send them to me, so I take them and I share them when I have friends that come over. I try to be a good man, and I think being a good man enables me. Sure, there's pain, and I have friends that I can talk to about it, but those are the things that enable me to deal with the stresses that I experienced. And, I can cry with my wife. I can get on a flight and watch a sad movie, and I'm like crying like a baby. And somebody looks over at this 220-pound burly dude with the square jaw that mostly has killed people his adult life. It's like, what a softie, right? But that's being human. That's being a good man. And then on the other end of that spectrum, if you're not sleeping and you're drinking and you're smoking or you're doing any substances, you're fighting with your spouse or cheating on your spouse, those all add to your inability to deal with the trauma of your past and life as it is. So now I just try to be good.
Are you tired of the lies and the twists of the mainstream media talking points? Yeah, me too. Join me in my newest series, Fact, where I dismantle and bring truth to this tiring mainstream agenda.